Iran just attacked the world's oil lifeline.
Ships belonging to the United States or Israel in the Strait of Hormuz are legitimate targets. The new threats come the same day 3 vessels were reportedly hit by projectiles in the strait. Let's bring in Fox News contributor and former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo. Mr. Secretary, good to see you. So Dan Kane was asked about the possibility, the potential of U.S. military ships escorting ships through the Strait of Hormuz, as we saw many decades ago. Here's what he said.
On the potential, if tasked to escort, we'll look at the range of options to set the military conditions to be able to do that. What are the resources required? What is the command and control required? And what are the risks? And how do we mitigate those risks? We'll figure out how to solve problems as they come to us.
Mr. Secretary, they had to know that this was probably going to be necessary. So why are they just trying to figure this out now?
John, great to be with you. And Sandra, look, I don't think for a moment they're just figuring this out now. They're getting ready. They're doing the necessary in the same way that they set the field, set the defense so that we could knock down ballistic missiles and drones. Right, took several weeks to get all of that in place. They're now putting in place the work so that we can safely escort ships through the Strait of Hormuz. No, the military planning for this is years in the making. We know precisely how to do it. There is more work that needs to be done to take out Iranian capabilities so that we can do so safely. But you heard the threats on American ships traveling through there, John. We shouldn't forget those threats have been around for decades.
Yep.
Right? The very reason President Trump is having to do what we're doing is because they have threatened to close this strait time and time again and held American hostage and say, no, don't come get them because we'll blow your stuff up.
It's not even just specifically Iran. Obviously, we're talking about the proxies also, guys. Listen, the Houthis have had a problem with us, obviously being a proxy of Iran, specifically here, coming out of Yemen. They have had a problem with us for years, guys. I mean, and listen, they have been targeting U.S. naval ships. They've been targeting all types of carriers that are going through that may have the American, flag attached to it, or they may perceive it's American in its orientation, at least here, guys. Listen, this is not a new thing. It would be great if we could actually do something here, but I'm not sure we actually have the overall manpower to actually chaperone these ships through the Strait of Hormuz, all while we're still legitimately in the middle of a war.
The right approach is being taken. It's methodical. We're just 11 days in, John. Lots more work to do. And when we do, we'll get the strait reopened. We'll do so safely. And we will have punished an Iranian regime that has taken so much toll on American life for so very long.
General Jack Keane was on with Larry Kudlow yesterday, and General Keane said now is not the time to be putting American ships in harm's way to transit the Straits of Hormuz. Listen to what he said.
If we start to bring our warships through right now, the Iranians still have the capability to range those ships with precision weapons. And that makes no sense in terms of the risk when we're going to finish them off entirely in a few weeks.
So the general is suggesting take the economic hit now, get the military goals and objectives accomplished in Iran, and then reopen the strait. What do you think of that?
That's the only way to do it. The only way.
Yeah, as usual, General Keene's spot on. The sequencing matters. I think that's actually what you heard the general saying about getting ready, doing the risk mitigation work that is necessary. So we will sequence this. We'll finish the mission. I think when you saw the announcement earlier today asking or directing civilians to get out of ports, I think that is very much part of this effort to set the conditions so that we can actually deliver to get oil and refined products flowing through the strait again. I'm very confident our military can execute this. It's just going to take a little bit of patience, a little bit of time, and in the meantime, markets will do what markets will do, and there'll be some difficult high gasoline prices for a moment. But we should never forget the ultimate objective, right? The goal there is to reduce a risk that's been sitting on us for an awfully long time.
I understand.
So the new supreme leader who was elected the other day, Mojtaba Khamenei, there are reports that he is severely injured. I mean, so much so that he wasn't able to attend his own inauguration the other day. What do you know potentially about that?
Yeah, I just know what's been reported, but I also know who he is, right? He's in his mid-50s, somebody we studied when I was at the CIA a lot. We were thinking about who might be the next successor, even if it had been Khamenei had died from natural causes. So we know this guy. He is a hardliner. He has stolen lots of money. He has killed lots of people. He is deeply tied to the worst of the worst inside the Iranian regime. It doesn't surprise me at all that they selected him, but I think there is something up, right? We haven't seen him. What do new leaders always do? Right? They go out and tell the people, I'm with you. This is tough times, but I'm your leader. And we've not seen hide nor hair of him that suggests that something is up, that something's not normal, something's not right, and that he either has such fear of appearing, or he is badly injured, or perhaps, who knows, may not even still be around. It's just simply hard to know, given the fact that he has not come out since his anointment, his selection, and actually declared that he is the leader of the country.
The problem with that statement is that you'd have to be a leader that actually cares about your people, right? So I think the average common typical leader would probably come out and say everything is going to be completely okay. We know we're going through some tough times right now, but we're going to make it. Basically, the common typical hero speech to kind of rally the troops around you, if that makes any sense here. What is he doing right now, guys? He's hiding. If there is something that has happened to him, will we know? Will we not know? Probably not. Who knows, guys, right? But understand this here. If he shows his face out in public, it's going to be taken off of his head, if that makes any sense here, guys, right? I mean, that's just the reality of what we're encountering right now, bro. I'm not sure he is going to do that because, again, he doesn't care. He cares about himself. He cares about self-preservation. He cares about absolutely pilfering from his impoverished country, right? That's all he cares about here.
You would think that even if he was in a hospital bed, that they would prop him up and at least get a picture out there, some sort of video. Instead, they had that cardboard cutout with his face on it the other day.
Yeah, no, John, you're exactly right. That's well said.
All right, Mr. Secretary, it was good to catch up with you. We will see what's going on, but certainly lots of rumors surrounding Mojtaba Khamenei and whether or not he is actually still with us tonight.
They are absolutely being destroyed. Iran is being absolutely decimated. That's all I can say.
President Trump, what have you heard about this bulletin that some law enforcement put out about a possible Iran revenge plot in California, where there would be some kind of a boat offshore launching drones towards the...
It's being investigated, but you have a lot of things happening, and all we can do is take them as they come. And the war itself is being prosecuted as well as anybody has ever seen, and this is other countries telling me too. Big countries, powerful countries, they said they've never seen anything like it. And they also agree with what I'm doing. They say it's an evil country, and it's been for 47 years that way.
And if they try to hit us back, have you been briefed about how many Iran sleeper cells there could be inside the U.S. right now?
I have been, and a lot of people came in through Biden with this stupid open border. But we know where most of them are. We've got our eye on all of them, I think.
Is it dozens?
They came in through the open border policies of Sleepy Joe Biden, one of the worst president in the history of our country. And we've got our eyes on all of them. But the war itself is being prosecuted at a level that nobody's seen before. It's pretty amazing to watch.
Can you give us a timeline on when you're planning to tap the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, a timeline of when that could happen?
We're going to be doing it very quickly.
Yeah, it has to be.
And then we'll fill it up. We'll fill up our reserves. You know, if you remember, I filled them up, and then I had a deal to go at the highest level, a level that's never been, and Schumer and the Democrats for $25, and it was turned down. You remember that, Peter. Almost before your time, but not quite. But it was, we had a deal at $25. Think of that, $25 a barrel, and the Democrats turned it down. We're going to tap it out like it's never been, but they turned that down, and now it's a lot higher.
Are you considering having the U.S. Treasury Department buy oil futures as a means to keep the oil prices down or bring the oil prices down?
Well, we're going to be in very good shape. You see what's happening. They are pretty much at the end of the line. Doesn't mean we're going to end it immediately, but they've got no Navy, they've got no Air Force, they've got no anti-air traffic, anything. They have no systems of control. We're just riding free range over that country. And now we're going to look very strongly at the Straits. The Straits are in great shape. We've knocked out all of their boats. They have some missiles, but not very many. I think we're in very good shape. The main thing is we have to win this thing, win it quickly, but win it. And there are many people, I'm just watching some of the news. Most people say it's already been won. It's just a question of when. When do we stop? We don't want to let it regrow. And ideally would like to see somebody in there that knows what they're doing. In other words, they can build a country. Now, one other thing, we can hit sections of Tehran and other places that if you do it, it'll be almost impossible for them to rebuild their country. and we don't want that.
No.
But we can hit electric, we could take apart their electric capacity within 1 hour, and it would take them 25 years to rebuild it. So ideally, we're not going to be doing that. Thank you very much, everybody.
That's definitely the smartest thing because, like, listen, guys, I said in a video, I think it was roughly 2 days ago or so, and I got into an argument with someone in the comments, like a stern, how about this? A stern talking. Let's call it that, right? Where I'm trying to explain to you guys, listen, when it comes down to war, right? And like when you're actually engaging in it, I will say I've never been in a war. Okay. I've read an unnecessary amount of books kind of regarding geopolitics and history and historical reference points. Guys, the one thing you don't want to do is destroy their ability to grow, because when you do that, I mean, I get it. You want to go ahead and stop the absolute, the leadership that has run the country into the literal ground. I get it, but do not pick apart what the country actually needs to sustain themselves when it's over. Because if you do that, all right, you're now throwing people into the literal dark ages, and the people that came specifically that backed you, all right, that backed you and hoped for a literal change in the regime are going to turn against you in a way that is absolutely wild here, guys. You don't need that. No one needs that. Okay. So this is why matter of fact, hold on. This was when Israel struck the oil. And I was just like, oh no, dudes, like, oh, that's their economy, bro. All right. Listen, don't do that. Okay. Because they're going to use it to retaliate. So now imagine here, the numbers have already come out now. They're saying that they may actually be, in fact, close to $200 a barrel. Understand, guys, whatever the price is local to you, obviously in California, it's one thing. I think it's like $5.70, $6, somewhere in that range on the West Coast. The East Coast is sitting at like $3.70, almost $4, depending on what you're using, obviously, right? That's with the barrel cost currently being moderately high-ish right now. I have it on my screen at all times, by the way. I watch it by the second. As of right now, 93.4 cents, $93.04. Now it's $93.03. Now it's 4 cents again. It's just moving up. And so the problem here is that, guys, listen, that's with being $93. If Iran forces the barrel price up to $200, double whatever you paid in gas yesterday or today. Double it. Just double it off the top, because that's what it is. Okay. We're talking about a barrel price legitimately that's going to sit at like $4 and maybe 72 cents here. We're talking about, and for those of you who are not in the know here, a barrel has 42 gallons of gas. Okay. I think it's 42. Let's just call it 42. It may be 46. My brain is, I don't know. Either way, let's say 42 gallons of gas. You divide that number and then you get somewhere around $4.70 something cents here, guys, right? And that's before all of the refinement comes in. That's before the taxes come in. So we could easily be looking at $12, $13 per gallon on the West Coast, okay? And on the East Coast, we're looking at maybe $9, $10 a gallon, guys. I mean, it's absolutely asinine to believe that that's a thing that the majority of Americans are going to be able to kind of withstand here, specifically with America being a place where people drive a lot of cars, guys. All right, think about the shipping costs of things. They're going to double. Okay, everything basically that moves on our roads are going to have to double in price, guys. I mean, it is what it is here. So I don't know how long we can kind of withstand that if this was to actually come to fruition. And I do think that's my main issue with kind of specifically what's happening here. Yeah, I get it. Iran is terrible, right? But I think that the majority of Americans right now, overwhelming majority, are struggling financially, okay? And they drive cars. And they need to buy food, and they need to buy other things, and the packages delivered, and all these other things, right? So I'm down with what's happening, absolutely, because it needs to happen in Iran. It has to. They have been a problem for entirely too long, guys, okay? Entirely too long. But I'm just worried about what is going to happen to the people who are absolutely impoverished and living below or near the poverty line. How do they sustain themselves? And I do think that there are more poor people in the United States of America than whoever the person is typing right now in the comments, mad, saying, how dare you say that? Listen, guys, let's just be real here. There are more people who are struggling in America than there are people that are not. Okay, so $10, $12 a gallon of gas is wild. But either way, listen, guys, we'll follow the story. Obviously, you guys all have an absolutely amazing day. Enjoy your day thoroughly.